Hello guys, my name is Maniac and I'm pretty certain that we are live right now. I hope you guys can hear me. I'll do a quick little test to make sure everything is successful. For right now, everything is looking good. I haven't streamed using this version of the Xbox firmware yet, so I haven't had much of a chance to test it. I don't know, I may cut out at any point. But if that's true, it looks like everything is running pretty stable right now and I'm very happy about that. So what do you say we get started just a little bit as we wait for the stream to populate? I have a time limit as to how long I'm going to stream today, and that does include my testing phase, which is probably going to be like another minute or two. I'm going to be just making sure everything is working. So just let me tell you guys a little bit about what we're doing today and why we are here. So let's get started, shall we? Alan Wake is being pulled from the Xbox 360 and the Steam Marketplace. Basically, wherever you can get this game available online on any online marketplace, it's being pulled. If it's not already been pulled within some point today, it will be pulled by the end of the day. That's not to say this will affect retail copies. If you find a retail copy on shelves or in stores, that still will work. And I'm pretty certain anybody with existing Steam keys that haven't expired, or Xbox 360 keys who haven't expired either, should continue to work as well, but don't quote me on that one. This game means a lot to me. I think this game means a lot to a lot of people, and I think that's why so many people were upset. Hey, Kajar, can you hear me and see me okay? I see you're here, so this is something. We know that the stream is going. Is audio coming through okay? Yep, well, good. Okay, good. I haven't tested with this firmware, but since you're here to tell me that everything is working, we can move on. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about my background with the game before we got started, because, like I said, this game means a lot to me, and this game really means a lot to me. I became familiar with the work of Remedy just before the release of Max Payne in, I think it was the year 2000 for the PC. I was very much excited about the game and the prospects for the game. I thought that Remedy was just breaking incredible ground for what was capable with the PC architecture, and I thought to myself, I have to pick this game up. And eventually, when the game came out a couple months later and a year later, I finally started playing it. I thought to myself, this game is incredible. This game is amazing. I'm so happy that it was out. Sometime later, Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne came out. I believe this was around 2003, 2004 for the PC. And once again, I thought The Fall of Max Payne was better. I mean, I really did. I thought Max Payne 2 was better in a lot of ways. I thought it had a better story. I thought it had better gameplay. I thought it had better graphics. And that was saying a lot because of how good I thought that Max Payne 1 was. Some disagree about, what they think has the better story, but, it's to each their own, basically. And then Remedy decided, okay, we're done with Max Payne for right now. We're going to do a new game. We're going to do a new game called Alan Wake, and they announced it in 2005. And they did a small demo for it at E3, which I did not attend. I'll be talking about E3 later. And it took a couple years after that. I think it took 5 more years after that, and 1 or 2 platform shifts. But Alan Wake did eventually come out for the Xbox 360, and I picked it up at midnight the night it was released. So I'm going to talk more about my background with the game as we move on. I don't want you guys to be staring at this this title sequence, so we'll just move on. If it makes you guys feel any better.
Stephen King once wrote that nightmares exist outside of logic, and there's little fun to be had in explanations. They're antithetical to the poetry of fear. In a horror story, the victim keeps asking why, but there can be no explanation, and there shouldn't be one. The unanswered mystery is what stays with us the longest, and it's what we'll remember in the end. My name is Alan Wake. I'm a writer. I've always had a vivid imagination, but this dream unsettled me. It was wild and dark and weird, even by my standards. So yes, it began with a dream. Following a typical nightmare pattern, I was late, desperately trying to reach my destination, a lighthouse. For some urgent reason, I couldn't remember. I'd been driving too fast down a coastal road to get there. I'd seen the hitchhiker too late. He was dead. I was convinced they'd put me in jail and I would never see Alice again. Suddenly, his body was gone. I was in shock from the crash. I could hardly stand my feet.
Let's do the tutorial. No, I'm not inverting the stick. Okay. I'm really sorry. I've decided not to talk during the cutscenes because this game has one of the best stories in gaming history, and pretty much all of Remedy's games can be considered that. But yeah, so I decided, I actually, because I'm playing this on the Xbox One platform, I'm using backwards compatibility.
I knew there was something important waiting for me there.
I decided that it's probably going to be better off that I not talk during cutscenes, unless I'm a little bit worried about copywriting or anything like that, basically. But yeah, I have this game memorized. I know quite a bit about it, and I know quite a lot of background story. Kajar, are you still there with me? And because I'm playing this on the Xbox One, the load times. Oh, great, you're still here. Because feel free to talk or comment all you want. Definitely while we're playing, it helps keep me focused when I have commenters that are here, helping me, talking to me, so I have stuff to say while the stream. If there's any lull or anything, or I start getting too focused on the game, you can always just post a comment and ask me a question or something, because I have a lot to say here. And so anyways, it's because we're playing on the Xbox One, and I haven't tested this game on the Xbox One since it initially got released, and I thought the performance was terrible. I think Microsoft fixed it.
When I hit the hitchhiker, the car wasn't going anywhere.
So yeah, I remembered I picked this game up. I had been waiting for 5 years to once this game was first released or first announced at E3 2005 as a PC title. It then later got shown again, I think around 2006 or 2007, don't quote me on that, as a PC Xbox 360 title, but for PC on Windows Vista, requiring Windows Vista. And then as time ramped, they said, we're not going to do a Windows Vista version, which is just going to be an Xbox 360 version. And I picked it up on the Xbox 360, which I already had at that point. So I remembered midnight playing this level for the very first time and just thinking, wow, what a great way to set this up. What a great way to open. It's like, I like these nice little touches, basically, that Remedy worked in here. So for those of you who might be completionists, we're not going to do completionist work here. There's just no reason to. So there's going to be less pausing and stuff like that, unless I'm going to basically do a tour of stuff, but that's not really going to happen here. Welcome to Night Springs. The game is being pulled from the online. I'm being asked.
I'd have to find another way to the lighthouse.
Okay, the first there's a reason why I came over here. Actually, the first thermos is actually hidden here. The game is being pulled from online stores due to contracting rights issues with the soundtrack. Apparently, there was a time limit when Remedy made the contract, or I should say Microsoft. They said Microsoft were the ones who negotiated the contract for music licensing. So because of the songs and the song content that's used in this particular game, there was a time limit as to how long the licenses last before they expired, which is, and I mean, I know this is more expensive and more difficult to do, which I think is probably why that whenever you're negotiating contract for something, especially when it comes to music licensing rights, we've known that they must be put in perpetuity forever. There must not be an expiration on that. This is why The Wonder Years has never been released on DVD, because the song licensings did not have a, it was basically felt that at the time we're only going to use those songs for a set period of time. Why will we need them after that? And we couldn't imagine using them for longer. So yeah, music licensing and things like that are a very difficult issue, not made any different by the fact that people don't really have foresight. Lawyers just don't have foresight in that kind of thing, unless they're trying to screw over the other, which is not good for consumers. There's a couple of really cool references here I like that. Have you seen Alan Wake was back there? Posters for Alan Wake's new book are up here. Oh boy. Hey, didn't I knock you over?
You don't even recognize me, do you, Ryder? You think you're God? You think you can just make up stuff? Play with people's lives and kill them when you think it adds to the drama?
Oh boy.
You're in this story now, and I'll make you suffer. You're a joke. There would be a single readable sentence in your books if it wasn't for your editor. You'll never publish another one of your shitty stories, cause I'm gonna kill.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the YouTube comment section personified.
Good. Not like they have any artistic merit. You're a lousy writer. Cheap thrills and pretentious shit. That's all you're good for. Just look at me. Look at your work.
Yep. So there's a little bit of discussion here about what this nightmare is supposed to be, and it's actually talked about quite a bit more, which I'll talk about when we get to it. But this is supposed to represent a like a dream that Alan's had quite a few times. Like Alan's had a few times. This isn't reality. This is a dream. Why are they happening? These aren't just like traditional dreams, basically. Now, for those of you guys who had one of those old Microsoft MTag apps for your smartphone, that little symbol that you could see there actually does work. You could scan it with the MTag app and see what happens. A couple of little nods there. So I really like the attention to detail in these games. Need to jump. Not every day you see a dream as a tutorial.
You missed your deadline.
Damn. It does work from a story perspective. Got it.
You can't stop me.
Come on, you know you want to hit me. Come on, can't you hit me? Nope.
I realized that the hitchhiker was a character from the story I'd been working on.
You can't hit me. You can't hit me. All right, let's get moving.
How does it feel to die by the hands of your own creation?
Ah, yes, the tornado. When Alan Wake was first demonstrated on the PC back in, I think it was 2006, Remedy wanted to show off the power of the Intel processors at the time by basically rendering an actual tornado to destroy the town that they had created, just to show off the physics model and what the processor could do and what technology was going on. This tornado here is the last remnant of that effect. So you can't have this game without a tornado.
Hurry!
Oh, who's this guy? And it's still coming.
Mr. Wake, it's me. Play Stewart, remember? Quickly, get inside. There's no time to lose.
Great.
Oh no! Stop!
That guy saved my life.
No! Damn it, die! No! No! No!
I was trapped. There was no way out.
Okay, so I got to explain what you just saw, and as far as I can understand, the person that just saved my life is a guy named Clay Stewart, who he's basically said, we never really get an explanation in this game what his story is, or what happens to him, or what did happen to him, but I know what happened to him because I read the Alan Wake files book, which was actually written by him.
I had to get out.
Yeah, the Alan Wake files book, which is included in the limited collection edition of the Xbox 360 version of Alan Wake, was written by Clay Stewart. And oh boy. It does establish his backstory as a dreamer just like Alan. That basically he and Alan had been having this same dream, this exact same dream together. And Clay Stewart is a real person with his own facilities. He's not a creation that Alan made up.
You are hurt. You should go into the light. You are only safe there.
Alright. Now he didn't die there in his dream. You die in your dream, you wake up. So Clay is probably just woke up with a bad night terror or something. But from what I saw from the Alan Wake 2 demo,
it goes like this.
It looked like...
For he did not know that beyond the lake he called home lies a deeper, darker ocean green, where waves are both wilder and more serene. To its ports I've been. To its ports I've been. Do you understand?
No.
I do. So, for any of you who might have seen the Alan Wake 2 demo that was shown, I think Polygon had it. But that demo footage, you'll see a guy interviewing.
The darkness is dangerous. It's sleeping now. When it feels you coming, it will wake up. There's no time. I can only show you the most important thing.
You would have seen a guy basically interviewing other people in the very beginning of that demo. That's Clay Stewart.
There's no time. The hitchhiker has been taken over by the dark presence. You can't hurt him now. The darkness protects him from all harm. Only light can drive the darkness away and make him vulnerable again. Here, take the light.
Alright, let's do this.
Pick up the flashlight.
Oh, pick up the flashlight. Sorry, it's been a while since I played this.
Only turn your flashlight toward him and burn the darkness away.
Alright, let's do this.
You did it. Now the darkness no longer protects him, but it's still inside, controlling him. He can't be saved. He's still a threat. He is still your enemy. Here, take the gun.
Alright, let's do this.
Now you'll die.
You know, I have a couple of family members and friends that are gun nuts. And after this game came out, I told them that...
You've done well. Remember what I've taught you. That is all. I will give you back your dream now.
Is this part of the dream?
A terrible darkness
Who is
was
this
taking
guy?
over the world. The lighthouse was the last safe place on Earth.
Okay, a couple of inside comments that I got a kick out of. The character that we just saw is voiced by James McCafferty, who you might actually remember as the voice of Alan Wake and the body double for Alan Wake. I'm sorry, not for Alan Wake. The voice of Max Payne. Sorry, James McCafferty was the voice of Max Payne and the body double for Max Payne 3. And I got a kick out of the fact that they brought him in and they chose to use him for these scenes because of stuff that's going to happen later on. Okay, let's see how this works. Did I get him? Yeah, basically he was Alan Wake. Sorry, he was Max Payne. He was basically the guy that you would have seen in the previous Remedy games as the main character, and I got a kick out of the fact that they chose to cast him because of when we find out who this guy is. It just fits so well. It just fits poetically about why they chose to cast McCafferty, but I won't spoil that just yet. Game performance is actually really good here, let me tell you. It's not the best I've seen for performance-wise on this game, but it's damn good. Alright, let's move on. Try to get the safe haven here. So yeah, I remembered I was playing this, the first time I ever played this was the night that the game came out. Midnight, you know, I think it was May or June 2016. And there is some extra material down here. I think there was like an extra coffee thermos. I love the collectibles in this game, but because I've already collected the collectibles, you don't recollect them. They save to your profile, and that syncs to Xbox Live. So, yeah. You'll have to select a new profile if you want to collect the coffee thermoses again. Alright, let's do this. Now I have a flare gun. So I used to crack jokes to my family members. Oh, by the way, bullets don't hurt anybody anymore. You have to actually shine a light at them if you want to hurt them. Otherwise, the bullets will just bounce right off of them. But I gotta admit, this was a really cool mechanic. I gotta give it that. At this point in gaming history, game mechanics, especially for third-person games, were basically you shoot, you platform, you shoot, you platform. That's really all it was. There were very few attempts basically to make, and you'll notice in the background you'll see a sign for Alan Wake's new book, which is just destroyed. All right, let's get out of here. This is not safe. Of course, this is the famous lighthouse that was seen in many of the... Anybody who saw the original E3 2005 demo for this game would be very familiar with the lighthouse and the concept of Alan running to the lighthouse. In the original demo, we saw him running from, you know, possible enemies that have been taken, possibly taken. Here, we're running from this tornado with all our speed right here. There's a coffee thermos on that bench, if I remember correctly, but we'll skip it for right now. Yeah, gotta run to the lighthouse right now and see what happens.
Shh, baby. Just another nightmare. Everything's fine. You dozed off.
Right. Anything more than dozed off would be news for everyone.
Cheer up, handsome. We're here.
I love this opening. This is just one of my favorite openings in game history. I mean, I can't tell you just how awesome it is to see this like this. Hey, Shishy Belle, is she with you? Is she over at your place or something? I mean, just look at this environment. I've always been fascinated by the Pacific Northwest. I've always wanted to visit the Pacific Northwest. I've never been. In fact, I think the farthest I ever went, at least for the Northwest, the farthest north I ever went west was for
Go stand next to that old gentleman there. I want a shot of you.
the Marin Headlands in San Francisco.
Sure. I'll even give you a title for the shot. A city boy, moments before he got eaten by a bear.
They got some behind-the-scenes information. This is Alice. This is Alan's wife. We'll go talk to. I'll tell you more about her later. But this guy right here, Pat Maine. Let's talk to him.
You picked a good time to visit our town. Deerfest is just 2 weeks away.
Deerfest, huh? Did you hear that, honey?
You have a lot.
I just realized that this is me and my girlfriend.
I'm Pat Maine.
I'm a writer and my
Nice to
girlfriend's a photographer.
Yeah, I'm Alan Wake.
I won't pretend I don't recognize a famous writer such as yourself, Mr. Wake. A pleasure. I'm an avid reader myself. I hope this isn't too presumptuous of me, but I'm the night host at the local radio station. Any chance I could get an interview?
Look, Mr. Maine, I'm on vacation. In fact, I'd appreciate it if we could keep my being here just between the two of us. I'm sure you understand.
Fair enough. You can trust me to be discreet. Not a hard man to track down if you change your mind, though. I hope you two have a lovely holiday.
Nice guy. I really do like Pat Maine as a character. I think he's a great guy.
Very nice. I got a couple of really good ones. And I see you made a friend. That's cute.
Right. Yeah?
Hey, bestseller. How's my favorite writer? Are you there yet?
Barry. Yeah. We just got here.
Are the locals giving you trouble? Just say the word, and I'll hop on a plane and come make sure that you're left alone, Al.
No, Barry, we're fine.
Great, great. Just want to make sure you can relax and recharge. So, how is the place? Has it gotten your creative juices flowing?
Barry, we're just settling in.
Okay, Al. I'll call back later to make sure you're doing okay. And you call me if there's a problem, okay? Okay. I'm just looking out for you, buddy. Talk to you later.
I love you too, Barry.
You know he's going to be calling you every 5 minutes.
Barry is Barry. I can always turn off the phone.
What did I tell you?
Text message from Barry. He says hi to you too.
That was Barry, everybody.
Alan,
Barry
we're here.
Wheeler. That's
Come on,
Alan's.
let's go back to the car.
That was Alan's. God, agent. Before the game came out, I remember that everybody was talking about Barry, and there had been demos where Barry had been seen. So people were familiar with Barry before the game came out. And it got to a point on the official Alan Wake forums that Remedy hosted that belief in Barry had kind of almost culminated in almost a religion or something. There had basically been lots of Barry memes and stuff like that. So, yeah, he was quite popular.
Yeah,
he is
sounds
voiced
like
by
you've
the
got a
guy who
lazy
voiced Vinny
bastard for a
Gognitti,
husband.
if I remember correctly. He's voiced by the guy who voiced Vinny Gognitti in Alan Wake. So,
City boy. Okay. Good day to you too.
all right, let's get going. What do you say we head to the car?
Yeah, but I got a thing for him. Come on, you lazy bastard. Let's go.
Am I driving? All right. Guess I'm driving.
We need to stop at the local diner to get the cabin key from the
No,
landlord.
she's driving.
A Mr. Carl Stuckey. He's waiting for us. I'll go fill her up while you get the key. I'll pick you up here in, say, 15 minutes.
Sure.
Sync by Microsoft. That didn't
Thank
last.
you for coming here with me.
I love you too. Go on. I'll promise to behave. I'd forgotten there were still places like this. Towns where everybody knew everybody.
Welcome to the Oh Dear Diner.
Hi, I was wondering if you could help me. I'm looking for...
Mr. Wake. Alan Wake. Oh, God! I am your biggest fan. I know people say that all the time, but I really am.
I'm glad to hear that.
Rose.
Rose, I'm looking for Mr. Stuckey. Carl Stuckey?
Carl? Oh, of course, Mr. Wake. He must have gone to visit the restroom. He'll be back in a moment. I can't believe it. I've got all of your books.
This is the Oh Dear Diner,
I got the
guys.
cutout from the
I
bookstore
love
when they
diners.
took it out of the
Diners are
window.
just awesome.
And you keep it here. Well, okay. Good for you.
I mean, originally in the... take a good look at this moment that
Try
you're
the
seeing in the
coffee.
game.
Just don't blame me when you fall in love, because it'll break your heart when you have to leave.
Rusty here is no longer human. Nothing but black coffee under a thin layer of skin.
Yeah, that makes two of us.
Yeah, and I'm probably just coffee, too. But the thing I get a kick out of
Are you
is...
still on, Mr. Wake? I can't believe it. I'm having a conversation with Alan Wake.
So, yeah, like I said,
Are you on
right
your
now
own,
this kind of
or
scene
is
that
your
you're
wife with you?
seeing is...
I can show you the town if you want. I get off work at 6.
Thanks, Rose. We'll be sure to keep that in mind.
She's a fan. Okay, now you tell me, ask Shishy Bell, please. Is she crossing the line of being fangirly? Because, okay, let's be honest, to the world here, the world that we're in right now, he is a celebrity. He's basically this real-life Stephen King, basically. Think of him like this. She recognizes him. I mean, look, that's his poster. That's her poster. She has his poster there, like the cardboard cutout. I'm actually thinking about making one of those, actually. I have the file, actually, I can use to make that, but I was told by some of the print shops that thing would cost about $100 to $120 to actually get that printed. It seemed a little steep to me, but that's just me. So yeah, is she crossing the line here? I don't know. I'll leave that to Shishy Bell to decide, or for you guys to decide. But a couple of things you want to see here. You'll notice the whole town. You can actually see the town. The original design of this game was open world, that you could actually visit anywhere in the town at any given time, and there would be day and night cycles. Anybody who's played Deadly Premonition would get a better understanding of what that kind of game would be like.
I wasn't ready to leave. I needed to find Carl Stuckey to get the key to the cabin.
Right. So much for a quiet vacation.
It's a good likeness. They later established Alice was the one who took that picture for the book. So, but unfortunately with this game, because of what they decided to do, they wanted to go for a more narrative flow. And so because of that, the game is locked off. You can only go to certain spots at certain times. It's actually linear. So that's unfortunate, but not the worst thing that can happen. It did mean, though, that the production values in the game and the detail on a lot of the sections that we do get to see are very, very good. I mean, look at these posters. I got to give props to anybody that made the posters, the signs, and everything else that was done here, because it is actually quite detailed. Sometimes you don't get a chance to see all the textures, but if you picked up the official Prima guide, you'll see them better.
Sonny. I could really use a tune right now. Coconut, number 6 in the jukebox. I'd do it myself, but both of my legs have gone to sleep. Bad circulation. Yeah.
Are you serious? Coconut again? You disgust me. Call yourself a rocker. Unbelievable. Ah.
All right, let's get Coconut playing. And I think this is part of the reason why the game is.
Drink them both up.
I think you just can't change these songs. That's the thing. And I know that a lot of people are really upset. Like they're worried that basically their copy is going to stop working, or that once the license rights expire, anybody who plays the game from now on
my favorite tune.
Isn't going to be able to play the songs, or going to have different songs basically. I don't think they're going to do that though.
Now that's what I'm talking about. Yes.
Torn Odin.
This is it. I've died and gone to hell.
All right, this is kind of funny for me actually. It's like this song on this game actually has a bit of a meaning to me. I had this friend back in the I had this friend. I haven't seen him in quite a while, but I had this friend that was absolutely obsessed with Coke Lime when that came out. Coke with Lime. I think this was out probably around 2006, 2007 or so. I can't remember exactly, but this was before Alan Wake came out, of course. And so when they were promoting Coke Lime, they used the song Coconut, actually. You put the lime in the Coke, basically. And they were also a huge Remedy fan. They also picked up Alan Wake on day one, basically. And there is an achievement that ties into this song. So I did later ask them, did you put the lime in the coconut and drink them both up? And they did tell me yes. So this song is an in-joke, and this fact that this song is actually here is an in-joke between me and a friend of mine, so I'm sure this person is not watching, but it does have a cool meaning to me.
Don't go in there, young man. You can hurt yourself in the dark.
I think I can handle it, ma'am. I didn't want to wait. I wanted to find Stuckey, to get the key and get out as soon as possible. The waitress was giving me a headache. Overeager fans always did.
Anybody else getting a Twin Peaks vibe here?
That she should change the bulb. This is what happens when you get sloppy.
The light lady. I've been told that anybody who's a fan of like Twin Peaks
Remind them to change their bulbs. Stay vigilant. Darkness
would remember like a lady holding a log. They called her the log lady. I think this is a reference to that. But she has an importance. This is important. This is important story moment. To introduce her. I kind of liked how that they could introduce a lot of these characters this way. It's kind of creepy that we all of a sudden it's so dark back here, but well, let's move on and see what happens. All right, maybe you went to the bathroom? Need the key.
Hello? Mr. Stuckey?
Carl couldn't make it. Unfortunately, he was taken ill. But I have the key for you and instructions on how to get to the lake.
Okay.
I wish you a good stay in my cabin. I'll come by later to check how you've settled in. And to meet your wife. I insist.
Thanks.
Creepy. I'll just take this key from this creepy lady in a funeral dress who is probably
Caudron
very,
Lake
very,
is a special place. Very inspiring.
Alright, I guess I can't go bother Stucky right now. And Stucky is not in the women's room. I guess, well, let's get moving.
I am so
Alright, we got the key.
You got lucky this time, young man. You can hurt yourself in the dark.
Yeah.
This really ought to be fixed. And then I must remind Sarah to change the lights at the station. It's been too long already.
Alright, there was a thermos over here.
Even that sounds better than you singing.
Are you alright?
Have you played this game, Kajar?
Splendid, splendid! Damn hernia! It swells up like a balloon if I lift anything heavier than a spoon. Yeah, splendid, splendid. It's been a long time gone. Good to see you.
The Andersons, they're, local musicians. We're waiting for Dr. Hartman to come pick them up. They wandered off from his clinic at the Caudron Lake Lodge.
They're okay. These guys, I love these guys. They're two of my favorite characters in the game, actually. Well, actually, pretty much everybody in this game is a favorite character of mine. Alright, we got the key. Let's go, let's head out.
As soon as Dr. Hartman gets here, Rose. Oh, but I'm not looking forward to the poison we have at the Park Cafe. Now this.
Bye, Mr. Wake.
Bye-bye, fangirl.
I hope
Alright, let's
you
get
enjoy your
going.
stay in Bright Falls.
I had the keys. Alice was... Mission accomplished. The key and the directions.
My hero. I got some flashlights, just in case.
Hey, wait! Mrs. Wake! Your keys!
That diner was a real nut house.
Can you believe this place? This would make a wonderful setting for a book.
We're supposed to be on vacation, Alice. I'll figure it out when we get back home. Okay?
Okay. We can talk about this later.
Batman here on KBFF.
I didn't want to talk about it. I wanted to bury my head in sand.
Here's another one of my favorites to go with it.
Once upon a time, I was a successful writer, but that was a long time ago. I hadn't been able to write a word in 2 years. Not since my last book.
And now the weather. It's gonna be a clear night, so you folks in the big city might want to look up every once in a while. See those stars winking down at you? It gets pretty dark out here.
This song always gets copyrighted flagged. Whenever I have this scene on any YouTube video I've ever produced, it got copyrighted flagged. And I think that's just terrible. There's only a couple seconds of it, so I don't know what the heck is up. But, yeah, that scene constantly gets copyrighted flagged, so I wanted to talk over it. I'm sure that probably won't help, but it's at least something.
Wow. It's gorgeous.
So this, to me, kind of
It's
just
something,
sets
all
off.
right.
Just, can you... I
Don't
mean,
worry, honey.
the Xbox
I'll
One is
get you
doing a pretty
inside
good
safe
job.
and sound
I'm
before it
actually
gets
running
dark.
quite faster.
And I've got the flashlight.
I know.
So I gotta
I'm
give
okay.
props to the Xbox One
Alice
for
had a
playing it like they
phobia.
are, but
The fear of darkness.
This
I
looks
wanted to make
amazing.
Sure we were inside with the lights on.
I
before
really want to
sunset.
go. I really want to go to the Pacific Northwest, just to check this out. Let me get a better angle.
Are you sure you
I
read
got
the
something I want to
directions
show you
right?
guys.
It's nothing like in the brochure. It said near the lake, not on it.
I don't
Don't
know
get
that
me
one.
wrong. This is so much better. It's wonderful. Our own private island.
All right, let's get moving. I want to kind of show you guys a little something before we continue on a little bit, but I'll talk a bit during this. So yeah, this was actually quite a very good lighting system for the Xbox One. I'm sorry, for the Xbox 360 at the time. The Xbox One's doing a pretty good job replicating it. I gotta give props, but this is still, I'm gonna call this emulation. This is still emulation. It probably looks better on a high-end PC for anybody who might be playing the PC version. But yeah, there's a couple of things I wanted to just show from up here. This location that we're on right now, this is called Caudron Lake in the game. It's actually based on a real-world location called Crater Lake, which actually does exist.
The cabin obviously got its name from the shape of the island. It looked like a giant bird leg. Alice had mentioned that the lake was a caldera. There was a dormant volcano under it.
Kind of looks more like a bird foot than a bird leg, but I don't know about that. So, yeah, there was, it might have been on this stoop, I can't remember, but there was a thermos up here. You can also take a look at the car. They parked the car up here, so this is kind of nice. But, yeah, there is actually a real-world analog to this lake called Crater Lake, which really does exist. And they did a really good job replicating it. There is a lodge up there on the edge of the crater that you can look at. Now, I don't remember in real life if the actual lake is a caldera that's a volcano, or if it was created by an actual meteor impact crater. I honestly don't know. It probably is volcanic, but don't quote me on that. So, yeah, I mean, just look at the lighting system here. It just looks amazing. All right, let's go check this place out, Diver's Isle. Nice that my wife stayed with me. The water here, I mean, just look at the water. This was incredible for 2010. This was incredible water work. That's just me. You know, I'm usually a kind of person that doesn't really like old houses and old locations. You know, I just don't, because I'm the kind of guy that's more like, where can I hook up my cell phones? Where can I hook up my TVs? Where can I hook up the cable lines? Where can I get my, you know, I'm a kind of person that just needs access to to technology, or at the very least, you know, power lines, phone lines, cell service. I need that, but even I admit that I kind of like rustic lodges every once in a while. I do. It's a soft spot for me. I like lodges. I like cabins. I like woodlog homes and things like that. I don't know why. Maybe it's just how cool they look or something. I don't know. But if I picked this place, I would just think it was the most awesome place ever to have a rental for like a week or something. All right, let's go in. Come on.
It's dark
we're in.
there. We need lights. Can you figure out how to get the power on, honey?
Sure thing. I'm on it.
All right. So this is the cabin under power. See if we can check out anything. Oh, they have the talking fish. That's really nice. Now, I believe
filled
this
with books
cabin.
by Thomas Zane sat on the shelf. I'd never heard of him before.
Hello? Anyone here?
Work of Thomas Zane. Very interesting. There's also a coffee thermos in the kitchen. It's not here, but it does exist. So, let's see. Anything over here? Anything out here? Really nice view. Radio.
The Deerfest guests have
I'll let you guys listen to this. It's kind of cool.
Just ran into one on the ferry. A famous artist, no less, but we'll see if we can rope him into an interview later on. Now, let's go to the phones. Caller, you're on KBF-FM.
Hi, Pat. It's Rose.
Why, hello, Rose. What's on your mind?
I know who that famous artist was. It was Alan Wake, wasn't it? He's my favorite writer.
Well, Rose, I
just saw him at the diner. Oh, I am so excited he's here.
I'm sure he's glad to be here, too. Well, folks, I guess the secret's out. This is Pat Maine on KBF-FM, and now some music.
Great.
That's just
so
great.
Much for keeping a low profile.
So now the whole community of Bright Falls knows that Alan's here. It's a pretty cool dock. I mean, you're right in the middle of the lake, so it's really cool,
the
actually.
The water was clear but dark. It looked very deep.
When you got volcanic calderas like this, it's or even craters in mountains and things like that, you are going to have to be dealing with very deep water. I got to admit, the only time I usually am against this kind of thing is usually if, like, for example, this cabin looks like it could probably comfortably fit, like, 2 to 4 people at most. In fact, I know for a fact that there's only one bedroom, for example, so... Yeah, my kind of family would rent a place like this, and then we'd cram 20 people into it. That's not fun. That isn't even remotely fun. But that's what my family considers fun, and I think they're stupid for it. Alright, let's see if there's any power connections up here.
The cabin looked like a time capsule from the 60s, or even earlier.
Alright. That, calendar is not accurate. What I've been told, that is not what the calendar would have looked like on July 1970. So, just a little comment there. Is there something I can look at in this room? Check it one more time. It's a cool bed. I like the fact that they kind of have the fireplace and everything. The bed's like right in front of. Yeah, it looks kind of cool. So it keeps the bed warm. That's kind of cool. It's definitely a nice cabin. We can get the power working.
For a moment, the oppressive feel of the nightmare I had seen on the ferry returned.
Oh.
Damn.
It's almost like I noticed the owl. It's like this whole place kind of has like an owl motif. I kind of noticed the eyes and everything.
A generator somewhere on the island.
This place was called Diver's Island. That might be the diver. Okay.
The power cable goes to that shed over there.
Alright, so I guess it goes this way. That's kind of cool. Alright, I'm just gonna move on a little bit so that you guys can get to the I don't wanna spoil your time here, so let's just move on and get straight to the action, shall we? And what's the action? The action is going to be turning on a generator. Yes.
An old generator had been connected to the power cable.
This is the first time I think we use this kind of. Yep. It's a nice way to kind of get people used to how the game mechanics work. I got to give them props for that. All right, so I think we got the power on.
The lights are on. Good work, honey. I'll freshen up a bit and start settling in.
Okay, I'll look around a bit.
Sure thing. Have fun.
It was a beautiful place. I told myself I could rest here, sleep here, and forget about my work. I thought we could be happy here. Alice had told me about Caudron Lake Lodge. The old building used to be a hotel, but these days it was no longer open to the public.
That's where Dr. Hartman keeps his clinic. You know, they mentioned Dr. Hartman earlier. That's where his clinic is. All right. Let's go take a look inside, see if Alice is in there. Looks like it got dark, so I must have been out here for a while. Oh.
The island had once been the site for a love story. Maybe it would be that again.
It's like T and B. T Heart B. Okay.
Alice? Honey?
The power's definitely on.
Alan, I'm upstairs. I have a surprise for you.
Oh my. Well, she's not wearing any pants, so...
Well, hello there.
I'm not the surprise. It's in the study. Go take a look.
Aw.
Okay.
We're going to talk more about Alice in a bit, but for right now, let's just move on.
Surprise!
Alice? What is this?
I guess I have a small confession to make. I thought maybe you could write here that a change of scenery would get you past...
Damn it, Alice, everyone
Hey, hey, just hear me out. There's a local doctor, Dr. Hartman. I read a book of his. He has a private clinic here. He specializes in helping artists. Maybe...
So now you want to get me committed?
No, it's not like that. That's not... Alan? Alan?
Anybody who's seen Fight Club might recognize that.
God damn it, Alice! God damn it!
I knew she wouldn't follow me in the dark. I needed some time alone to think things through. Damn it. Alice?
So freaking atmospheric.
Alice? Alice!
The cabin had
All right,
gone
let's go
dark.
check on her.
All the lights were out.
This can't be good.
Alice, I'm coming! It's all right, I'm coming!
What the hell?
All right, let's see what's going on here.
Alice? Alice? Oh no!
Keep going, wake up.
Alice?
Waking up in the crashed car felt like I had woken from one nightmare and entered another. I couldn't remember how I got there. All I knew was that something terrible had happened to Alice. The phone was dead. I'd have to find help on foot.
Just blanked out like that. Looks like he crashed his car.
Among Alice's
Yes.
things was a book, The Creator's Dilemma, by a Dr. Emil Hartman. Seeing the book brought back my fight with Alice. I didn't like it, and I didn't like the guy's smug face on the cover
That
either.
might be Dr. Hartman. She might have been reading his book. Okay, I gotta give props right now to the Xbox engineers for finally, for making this game run as well as it does on the Xbox One. This is much better. When they first implemented this game on the Xbox One for backwards compatibility, it was pretty much unplayable. For those of you guys who have seen my playthrough of Alan Wake's American Nightmare, I couldn't get the game to run at a good frame rate. From what I was told, they did later fix that game.
The gas station was my best bet. They'd have a phone I could use. It looked like a long hike through the forest to get there.
All right, let's see if we can get a phone. So it's not every day you're basically jumping into a dark water after your wife, who you think might have drowned. And there goes my rental car. I hope I paid the insurance for this one. I hope the insurance would cover this one. Well, we'll see. So back to what I was saying. I mean, just look. This atmosphere is just amazing. In fact, I remember when Yahtzee from Zero Punctuation gave a critique of this game. He thought it was terrible. I don't put any stock into his reviews anymore. I really don't. I think he's a terrible reviewer for a lot of reasons. There's no consistency with his reviews, and I think that he doesn't justify his standards anymore. He used to, but I don't think he justifies his standards anymore with his new reviews. And he's not consistent. And so he gave this a bad review, but even he said the atmosphere was incredible.
Departure. That was the name I planned to use for the next novel I had never gotten started. I was named the author. I hadn't written it. I couldn't remember writing it. In the scene on the page, the hero was attacked by an axe murderer in the woods at night.
It's not every day you find a book or anything like that that you have your name on that you don't remember writing, but I wouldn't put it past some authors to actually have that problem. Maybe that's just me. All right, let's move on.
Anybody there? Please, I've been in an accident.
All right, let's go. Gas station's a ways away, so we're gonna have to move on foot, and hopefully this trail is gonna open up or something. So, Kajar, you still there? What are you and Shishibel up to?
Sign. Maybe I wouldn't have to hike all the way down to the gas station to find a phone.
I have talked to some people from the Pacific Northwest about the depictions of the lumber industry and the logging industry over there, and they all said the same thing. Yeah, it is appropriate to comment on to show all this logging and lumber, because when you're up in the Pacific Northwest, most of what they do involves lumber and logging and stuff. That's their one. That's a major export for them.
I've been in an accident. Hey, hey, you!
Phil!
There's been an accident. I need help. Listen, I need to...
Premium cabins for rent in...
Oh, hell.
Carl Stuckey.
Pleased
to meet you. Non-refundable reservation deposit required. Fair and square. And square.
Oh boy. Remember how he said he was attacked by an axe murderer? Oh, Shishi Bell's in Germany. Okay. Well, Guten Tag to her. Can't go that way. Guess I can't go this way either. So the thing to remember about Alan is that, and this is, we've seen a lot with Alice so far, and I kind of get it. Originally, Alice always existed in the Alan Wake timeline during development, but her motivations changed quite a few times. Oh boy. Her motivations change. Her, her relationship to Alan changed. Oh boy. Johnny.
I had to figure a way out of this.
Oh, she's coming over in July. That's cool.
Stuckey would be knocking on the door.
I will probably be in California. No, I won't be in California in July. Energizer for batteries that only last a couple of seconds in this game. Okay.
During your...
Let's grab some weapons.
Trying. It's the latest.
Alright, does this work?
Yes.
Bright Falls Sheriff Station. Only
Hello?
Hello? Stone. You can see the sights and
What's happening? Oh boy. That can't be good. Now there goes the physics system. That couldn't have been good, but it could have been worse. So, exactly what was said in the manuscript is what happened. These guys work similar to the Dreams. Got him.
My head pounded with the concussion. I'd never fired a gun outside a shooting range, and now I just killed someone. Or something. There were no bodies. They just disappeared. If I was dreaming, it felt real enough to make me sick.
Hey. That was self-defense, and that was your right as an American, Alan.
Eerie hand-painted
as my brother-in-law would
was
say.
Revealed by my flashlight. Someone had hidden a chest of supplies near it.
So we got some supplies here. You'll notice that there's sometimes occasionally in this game they'll point to supply caches and stuff like that using this luminescent paint. Okay. What do we got? I can't go near that. So what are you guys going to do in July? The problem with the... Oh boy. That do it?
The Dark Forest was the last place I wanted to go, but I had no choice. I had to get to the gas station.
Okay, we're good here. Alright, so back to what I was saying. Oh, this guy. Every time I try to say something, I get interrupted. Do not interrupt me while I am Monologuing. Thank you. So back to what I was saying. The way that basically what it establishes is that Alice went through a whole lot of different changes while she was going through. When Alan Wake was first announced by back in 2005, Alan was supposed to be like a girlfriend. Alice was supposed to be Alan's girlfriend, perhaps his fiance, but she was always like they went very much into the organization that she was his muse. He couldn't write without her, and that. Almost, I think that they were trying to put, when I saw the original design document was that she had gone missing before even the first game had started, or the first chapter started. Like, she was already missing. Alan was suffering from insomnia. He had gone to a clinic and he had found a girl that looked like his wife, and then he started writing about her, and then nightmares started happening, things like that, basically. None of which really ended up in the final version of the game. But it kind of reminded me a bit of the movie Vertigo, and maybe that's for the best, because I really do like what they did here. Oh, he's having flashes of memory. It looks like.
What the hell
That
was
is
that?
not. So back to what I was saying. So Alice had gone through a lot of different changes.
When
Eventually, once
the
this story was finalized,
something uncoiled itself inside my head. I realized that I'd have to find a way across. I didn't even want to look at the water.
he is very much against water right now, and he doesn't know why. Interesting. Let's get a better look, shall we? I mean, if you ask me, I think that the writers for the final version of the game, I think that they made the right decision. But it was interesting to hear what other ideas for Alice was. Eventually, they kind of changed it to that Alice became Alan's wife, and that she goes missing, but we meet her. There were a couple of things that they had to do in order to make this more interesting. Obviously, you can tell that Alice and Alan are having marriage problems, which are, pretty much anybody's business, I guess. You can make that decision about yourself as to whose fault are the marriage problems, but you can definitely tell several times over that without Alice, Alan is kind of lost. Like, Alan needs Alice, whereas Alice really doesn't need Alan like that. They talk more about it, more specifically in the expansion DLC.
Stucky was still out there, in the dark, stalking me.
A couple of years ago, I had a friend come over. We were playing some classic games. Most of it was like, basically like modern classics, if you will. Like it was the first time I ever played Silent Hill 2. It was the first time I ever played Ico. It was the first time in a long time I had played Shadow of the Colossus. And my friend brought Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem. So I played those games. My friend brought those games over, and I got to play them, and I enjoyed them quite a bit, actually. And so when my friend came over, what did they want to play, or what did I recommend for them? And of course, I recommended Alan Wake. And we ended up playing almost all of the game, with the exception of the sixth act. Uh-oh. I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. I sleep all night, I work all day. He's a lumberjack and he's okay. He sleeps all night and he works all day. So, I've always wanted to, like I said, I'm kind of envious of you and Shishi Bel Kajar, because I've always wanted to visit England and I've always wanted to visit Germany. I heard that there's a lot of cool stuff there to see. I have been to France. I would go back. I definitely want to go back. I haven't been there in like almost 2 decades. But, so yeah, I definitely want to go back to Europe, but I haven't been there in so long. But I totally want to check out England, and I totally want to check out Germany. I don't know which I would want to go where I would want to go first, though. I don't drink, so you know, I definitely would. You know, like I would go to the pubs in England, for example, for the food, definitely, because I definitely want to try English food. But as for I probably wouldn't go to like a beer house or anything, although I might. I would go to a beer house in Germany just for like the history or something, certainly. But I don't drink, so that would be a thing. But we got another cache here. I would definitely want to go for the culture. I would definitely want to go to see the sights. I would definitely want to go to meet the people and talk with the people, obviously. I only know one sentence in German, obviously. Hello, would you like a cigarette? That's all I know how to say in German. But I have been told by several German-speaking people that is enough. So, go figure. All right, let's get moving. I mean, this is just so cool to look at. The smoke, like, look at the smoke, look at the fog. This was like, yeah. I mean, you gotta.
The staircase was broken.
It just looks natural, but it also looks sinister. I mean, there were a lot of ideas that Remedy was working on that they cut during development. A lot of levels that were cut. A lot of, I mean. We're at a bit of a lull, so I guess I could tell you guys about some of the deleted scenes, some parts in the game that they were working on that just didn't end up making it. But all right, there's no way I can climb that. So like I said, I guess since we're here, I might as well tell you about a couple of deleted scenes. I know a lot of people were saying, well, if the fire is as bad as they say it is,
there was no power. There was bound to be a generator somewhere at the logging site.
Alright. Can't move this. Something over here. Why didn't Alan set the woods on fire, basically? If light hurts these things and they come out at night, wouldn't fire hurt them? Isn't fire fatal? Oh, couple of guys here. And the answer is yes, fire would certainly hurt them, but you never, ever, ever want to set fire to woods. You'll die of either burns, smoke inhalation, or suffocation.
With all this forestry equipment
there are just so many reasons why you would never want to set. Also, it's illegal, so there's that too. That got it open. Got a save point. Got the manuscript page. Anything else? Ooh, shotgun. Nice. I think we're okay. But they did actually plan, and I saw this deleted scene actually. They did actually plan to include a forest fire level. They just I don't know if it had to do with tuning. I don't know if it had to do with the difficulty in the system. I can't remember why they cut it, but there was going to be a forest fire level, and it just ended up getting cut. So people who wanted it, I don't know, maybe for a sequel. I think we got it. Maybe this will help. I can't climb that. Maybe I can go around it. There were a lot of other stuff. Like I said, also, the game was also originally supposed to be open world. There were going to be a lot of open world segments to it, which is why the game has such a wealth of inner. I guess you would say there's a lot of stuff in the game that basically expands its universe, and you know, like it's just like a wealth of signs, posters, just so many cool things. The radio shows, later on we're going to see television broadcasts, and because of that, yeah, we're that's just something that usually happens for open world games. And well, I totally understand why they didn't do it, because I've seen games that did open world that didn't need to. Again, Deadly Premonition really didn't need it. LA Noire really didn't need it either.
I know most of you are probably in your beds by now, but if you're still up and around, take a moment.
That's Pat Maine again.
Step outside for a spell and breathe in deep. The weather is absolutely still. The sky is crystal clear. It's like the forest is quietly breathing along with you. You listeners know I'm a night owl, and it's on nights like this I wish I was.
Okay, we're gonna see that there's a definitely something over here. Oh, here we go. Another flare gun. A bit more ammo now. Use that later.
Looks like I'm not the only one staying up late. Caller, you're on the air.
All right. As much as I really like Pat Maine and Pat Maine's voice and everything, I don't want to play everything for you guys. I kind of want you guys to experience the game for yourself. Basically, like I said, anybody that obviously after today, you're not going to be able to buy this game on any online marketplace, at least until the rights issues for the music are resolved. But like I said, you can still track down a copy of the game on, you know, a physical copy. The physical copy works just fine on the Xbox One. There are physical copies of the PC version of the game that you can still seek out also. Oh boy. This doesn't sound right. What have we got over here? Safe haven. Start the generator, alright? Oh, I guess I can't start the generator. I'd like to. Let's do this. See if I can start it now. Come on, come on, come on, start. I did it. These things can't go into the light, whatever they are. But I saw something. There it is. So what are you thinking about doing? Have you gone to Germany, Kajar? I can't remember if you went to Germany. Have you been to Germany? Okay. Safe haven that way. I see it. That's another reason why I really like how they made the checkpoints this way. Look at that. I mean, they're easy to see. They're highly recognizable. You can see them from a distance. It becomes like a goal, like mini goals every 5, you know. And it really helps with the pathfinding when you've got this wide open space. I mean, you can't do a whole forest. You've never been to Germany, but you want to. Okay, you want to go to Germany. Okay. Why don't you go visit her? You could probably crash her place for a couple of days. That might be what. Oh, that might be what I'm going to be doing. I'm probably going to be. I don't have any German friends, but I think what I'm probably going to be doing is for E3. I'm probably going to be crashing a friend's place. Looks like there was a. I definitely saw paint for a safe haven. Oh, here we go. Oh, here it is. Cool. Another flare gun. I'm going to save those for right now until I get something tricky. Or like a large group.
I never touch salad, no. A man like me needs a trusty meal. That's what it is.
Okay, this can't be good. I hear somebody ranting and raving, but I don't see them. That can't be good. Here they come. A lot of them, too. I got 2 of them. 3. What are you gonna do? Right, there might be more guys here, so I'm gonna keep my eyes open. Definitely hear something. That's over there. Alright, let's go in. Maybe there's something in the trailer. I've got enough batteries. Okay, more shotgun ammo. That's going to be helpful. Oh, TV. TV! Now, for those of you guys who might have seen my Quantum Break...
bestows immortality on those who advance it to elevate...
Who might have seen my Quantum Break episode, then you'll remember that I was watching it at some point in, I think it was episode 4, or chapter 4, act 4, whatever you want to call it. I was watching a TV that had outtakes from Night Springs.
A quantum suicide.
Now, the cool thing I wanted to say about this particular episode, I really don't want to talk, I really don't want to show you guys the TV episodes unless they're plot-driven, and let's be honest, the Night Springs stuff is mostly optional. You don't have to watch the Night Springs stuff, although it does help because there's a lot more references throughout the Alan Wake universe. But let's talk about Night Springs while this is going on, because you guys can watch it on your own volition. But I have a couple things I want to say about Night Springs. Obviously, Night Springs is a complete rip or an homage to Rod Serling shows like The Night Gallery and, of course, The Twilight Zone. There's no question about that. Night Springs is also a reference to other things, which I'll talk about when I'm done. But particularly when you think about it, well, where are we right now? We're in a place called Bright Falls. What would the opposite of Bright Falls be called?
Did he say suicide?
Well, you got the word bright, so night is kind of the opposite of bright. And you've got a place called Falls. Well, what's the opposite of a fall? A spring. Night Springs, Bright Falls. And I guess this is just supposed to be a reference to an opposite. Now, this particular episode, as it is actually based on the original plot for Alan Wake, actually. Originally, at least for this thing, we can definitely see that the cause of Alan Wake's issues, what's taking over these people, is a supernatural meaning. Originally, it wasn't supposed to be a supernatural meaning. It was supposed to be more of a science fiction meaning. And essentially what had happened is that there was an organization that had built a cyclotron that had been going through the mountain, and this cyclotron in this lab was what was causing the issues. And while that ended up getting cut, and only a couple of screenshots of it exist, and most of them were used in the behind-the-scenes Alan Wake Illuminated book. My girlfriend did a review of it on my YouTube channel if you want to see it. They did later work the name of the institute that had created the cyclotron that was cut into this particular script. They wrote this script basically based on that. Now, if you watch this, you're going to think to yourself, hey, a lot of this has to do with Quantum Break, the idea of quantum ideas and quantum institutes and things like that. These theories and stuff like that ended up in Quantum Break. Yeah, you can never get rid of a good idea. You'll see that a lot, actually. You'll hear a guy say something about, well, we had this idea or we had this idea or something. We didn't end up doing it, and then like you watch the next movie or watch another episode like a season or two later, and they did that. So, writers have, you have good ideas and things like that. You're gonna use it. I heard Germany has some awesome people too, actually. That's another reason why I would like to check out Germany. This does not look pleasant to me. That's just me, but... Yeah, this is what my guy tells me all the time. I should talk. My car's in the shop right now.
Even with the engine takes dropping tools. Bounce is an easy and fatal. Big four. This place cool. Forgotten it. Engine has destroyed.
Got him. Yeah, that fight is actually much longer, but that's a reason why I was saving the flare guns. You could use the flare guns on that guy, because yeah, they kind of the stronger Taken had this ability to kind of warp from like one place to another. Oh crap! Hey, where'd you come from? I thought this area was clear.
Stucky's body vanished, leaving behind only a
Cheap
lifetime of
campers
nightmares to come. Assuming I'd reach the lights at the gas station alive.
Alright. I think I got everybody, so... Pretty certain I got everybody. Alright, let's move on. Good, the fences are still working. Here's the gas station up here. Now, there are some actual manuscripts that are considered to be,
I recognized the parade float I had seen in Bright Falls when I first arrived with Alice.
Yeah, it was in front of the diner originally. Now it's here. Here's the gas station. As I was saying before, now I've been collecting manuscripts here and there,
After
and
the insanity
they do
I
foreshadow
just
the
experienced
future.
in the darkness, the lights of the gas station felt comforting. At least for a moment, the sane world reasserted itself.
Save point. There are a couple of manuscript pages that are only available in the higher difficulties.
The Deer Fest
Mostly
had been
they're full
2
of
weeks
Easter
away
eggs.
when we arrived. If the day count on the banner was right, I was missing a whole week between the night we got here and now.
And that's the issue, isn't it? Let's see what the gas prices are. I gotta give credit at least. The gas prices where I am are actually lower than they were here, but I'm pretty certain they're pretty accurate for the time. My local gas prices are actually lower right now, so at least we got something in 7 or 8 years. I would say they're about 50 cents cheaper. Although I have to admit that my state's been screwing with the gas tax. It's actually the price of gas is actually low right now, from what I've been told by pretty much everybody that lives in every state other than mine. But I've been told that it's the tax. The tax is basically through the roof. I don't know who's been messing with the gas taxes, but the prices of fuel right now really feel like somebody's been messing with them, or messing with the algorithms to basically artificially inflate them. And I think that's pretty morally wrong. And most people say, well, we want this, or we want that, or we want this, or gas prices are good, gas prices are bad. If you're going to artificially inflate the price of something, I don't care who you are or why you did it, that's immoral. I will just call you immoral. And you can't tell me otherwise about that. All right, let's check around the perimeter of the gas station before we go inside, just for safety reasons. You can't actually explore that area over there. I really don't want to because there's enemies. The enemies basically will spawn, and there really isn't anything over there except for thermoses. I think there was probably a thermos on like one side, and I think there's a thermos on the other side, but that's kind of screwed up right there. So I'm gonna move back this way. I guess it's a problem when you're emulating.
The garage was a mess. It looked like someone had trashed the place, or that there'd been some kind of fight.
All right. I'll keep writing. Outside, there's only darkness. Outside the cabin, outside the story, there's only darkness. I can feel her presence in the dark. Just now, I could smell her perfume in the room. I'll reach her. I'll fix it up. I'll bring her back. The story will come true. If I stop, she's lost.
I don't believe this. It'd been me on the TV, talking crazy. Was I losing my mind?
Think about it for a second. That was clearly Alan. That sounded like Alan. That was clearly Alan. And he was clearly in the cabin, in the, I guess in the writing section of the office, whatever you want to call it, of the cabin. Could this have been something that he did over the course of the week that he lost? Because he woke up, he went into the... Alright, I just want to make a reference to a little Easter egg here. That poster can be interacted with, and you can get it... I'm sorry for my hiccups. You can get an achievement for it, so... Alright. Let's take a look and see what's on the phone. I really do like this gas station, though. I think it looks cool.
Bright Falls Sheriff Station.
Oh, thank God, Sheriff.
Sheriff Sarah Breaker, you are...
I'm Alan Wake, but listen. I was in a car crash. My wife, Alice, she's missing.
Calm down, Mr. Wade.
We were staying in a cabin on the island, on Caudron Lake.
There's no island on Caudron Lake. Not since the big eruption in the 70s.
Please, I can take you there, okay?
You look like you've taken a pretty bad knock to the head. Are you okay?
Listen.
We'll figure this out. Please get in the car. We'll swing by the lake and then we'll go to the station, okay? Mr. Wake, have you seen Stucky, the guy who owns this place?
I realized I couldn't tell her what had happened in the forest. She wouldn't have believed me. And then she wouldn't have helped me with Alice.
There's no cabin. Where were they staying? Okay, guys. Normally I'd let this song play out, but for copyright reasons, when I upload this thing to YouTube, I kind of just I don't want to play the I don't want to play it, so we're just gonna skip through it.
Previously on Alan Wake, I came to Bright Falls with my wife, Alice.
Thank you for coming here with me. I thought maybe you could write here.
I don't want to hear it. God damn it, Alice.
Now, she's missing.
Alice? Alice?
I woke up behind the wheel of a crashed car. I'm missing a week. I was attacked by shadowy men straight from a nightmare. The sheriff took me to the lake Alice and I had stayed at, but the cabin had disappeared.
New York City, 3 years ago. So this is a flashback, basically.
Honey, I'm home.
Back here, sweetie. How was it?
Worst weather I've ever seen.
You should put some coffee on. It'll warm you up.
Coffee's on.
Great, thanks. I'll need it if I'm gonna finish this by tomorrow.
I guess there's a couple of graphical issues with this, or otherwise I might be having overheating problems or something. I don't know why the lighting is screwing up. Maybe this is an issue with... Alright, I'm assuming this is the emulation layer that's causing this problem, but some of the effects are not working 100%. But you'll notice here, right here, anybody who's a fan of Max Payne will probably recognize these graphics. And I am a huge fan of, like I said, I'm a huge fan of Max Payne. So this is supposed to be New York. This is supposed to be New York during a blizzard. Is this the same blizzard that Max Payne fought his way through? The timeline doesn't match up because Max Payne's battle in the blizzard was, I believe, the year 2000, and this would have been 3 years prior to 2010. And Alan Wake took place in the present day, so yeah, it's a little bit iffy about that. But I'm sorry about that texture pop. I don't know what's causing it. But the reason why we have these scenes in the game are actually very good ones. Essentially, what had happened is that how do I put this? Oh, manuscript page. Return to Sender, What I Can't Forget, Alex Casey, The Things I Want, The Fall of Casey. All by Alan Wake. Those are his book series, the Alex Casey books. Now, for anybody who played through any of the Alan Wake, especially for Alan Wake 2, you'll notice that a lot of those names are basically references to Max Payne. Those are all Max Payne references, as are those golden dual pistols. I believe these are all Max Payne references, so props there. Another thing you might notice is there's another MPEG there. If you guys want to scan it with your phone, go right ahead. I don't know if those links still work, but they might. Back in the day, they actually did bring up all kinds of stuff like voicemails and things for your phone, like codes you can get for like exclusive content for your phone or for your Xbox 360. I can't remember exactly. Again, I don't know if they're still live, but there they are. Oh, this is where he probably did his writing. The reason why they wanted to show these scenes and do these flashbacks was because if you have to establish that Alan and Alice are a loving couple. And when you see Alice in the beginning, you can see that they're having marital problems. This level exists. Oh, I love this work right here. Is this public domain? I don't think this is public domain. I think that these are 3 images that were taken specifically by the Alan Wake team, probably during Max Payne's development. I think that these are just 3 images that probably Remedy owns or something like that.
Oh, hey, I just finished those cover mock-ups. They're on your desk. Tell me what you think.
No kidding. I didn't think you'd get them done this quickly.
On occasion, I can perform all sorts of miracles, my dear.
Oh, really?
Well, you seemed to think so last night.
Oh, they're in another room. All right, where are the proofs? We're here. This is so me and my girlfriend. I get a kick out of that.
Sure, until Barry gets his hands on them. Which, by the way, will happen over my dead body. The last time was the last time. Oh, and speaking of Barry, he called. Alan? Alan, please check the fuse box.
I'm right here. I'm on it, honey.
Please hurry.
Fuse box count.
Honey, it's a power outage. I've got the flashlight.
Okay, hi.
Probably happened from
You
the storm.
okay?
I'm sorry. It just really spooked me.
Don't worry. We'll just break out the candles.
I know it's stupid, but it's just... Especially when I'm not prepared for it, you know? It gets to me.
I love you.
Tell me a story, writer.
Okay. I used to have these nightmares when I was a kid. The dark really spooked me, too. When it got really bad, my mom gave me this old light switch. She called it the clicker.
The clicker, huh?
Yeah. If I ever got scared of the dark, I could just flip the switch and a magic light would scare the monsters away.
Oh, sure.
Here it is.
Alan.
Maybe it'll help you, too.
Yeah, nice story, writer boy. You made that up right now, didn't you?
No. Seriously.
I love you, even if you are a liar. Thanks for this.
Oh my god, this is me and my girlfriend. Remedy was so good at recreating New York. I gotta give him props for it.
How do you feel, Mr. Wake? Any nausea, disorientation, anything like that? Mr. Wake, how are you feeling?
I'm okay. My head's fine. I had to lie about my headache and memory loss. He'd send me to a hospital for tests. I couldn't leave without Alice.
Very well. I don't think you have a concussion, but you've obviously been through quite a shock. You should take it easy for a couple of days.
Thanks.
Well, then,
The
Mr.
doctor's
Wake,
a
we're
fisherman.
done here. If the pain gets any worse or you experience any
Okay, guys. I think this is a good place to stop for right now. There's a couple of reasons why I wanted to stop. One, I didn't want this. I have to actually, when I'm doing Beam streaming, I have to actually download the master files from Beam, and then I have to transfer those over. I can't just do a cloud sync or a cloud transfer like I could with Twitch and YouTube. So what I'm gonna, I didn't want the document file to be too long. 90 minutes, I think, was kind of pushing it. I have dealt with files that were over 2 hours in length, but for right now, I really didn't want to mess with further than that. So we will be getting back to resuming this game tomorrow or later today. I haven't decided yet, but we will be resuming this game because I'm really enjoying it. I have a lot more I want to say about it, definitely. And this is exciting. This is great. If you haven't picked up Alan Wake on the Xbox 360 or PC yet, and you still have the option to, get it. It is an amazing game because after today, you're not going to be able to. So props to Remedy for making a game that is still a cult classic 7 years after it's been released. People are still talking about it. People are still playing it. People still love it. Until next time, guys, my name is Maniac with GameAccess.net, and I guess I do kind of look a little bit like Alan Wake. Take care. Over and out.